So we're going to open them up, have a munch on them, and there is some, like, I don't know if it's like hedge cutting or drilling going on outside. I think it's like hedge cutting. Hopefully it's not going to get too loud. If it does, that will be very sad. But whilst it's somewhat quiet, touch wood, we're going to jump into the video. So let me get these open proper. Okay, it's being an arsehole. This one is being an arsehole. So let's pop it one in, kind of like messed up one there. And we're just going to jump straight in. So, I've got a number of them again. I'm going to read them out and we'll just see. Some of these have updates, apparently. I'm at the arsehole for teaching my nephew stuff. My brother and his loopy wife don't want them to know. My brother is a religious nutcase. I personally think that it's fine as long as it doesn't impact anyone else. He's a tradesman and his wife stays at home and homeschools their kids. Oh, not a good time. Once again, that is a choice people make, and 100% is right. I was over at his place during the eclipse that has just happened, and I heard him explain to the kids how it worked. It was a fascinating journey into madness. There were secret conspiracies, spheres, not Earth, a dome, somehow contrails. I kept my mouth shut until the kids buggered off. Then I asked him if he was fucking with his kids. No, but they actually believe this stuff, and a bunch of other stuff. Whether or not it was real or not, you should not be fucking with them like that. This is recent. My brother was educated at a regular high school. Our parents are not delusional like this. The last weekend they were visiting us and the kids were all excited about the northern lights being visible. I live out on an acreage, so they were gorge away from the sea lights. I don't know what that's meant to mean. Probably that they were far away. My kids asked for an explanation about them, so I tried to remember all the stuff I'd learned in school. About solar particles, magnetic fields, high altitude, atmosphere. I also looked up on my phone to make sure. My nephews asked how this was possible on a flat Earth. And I explained the Earth flat was an idea that went away for most people. That went away from most people a long time ago. Please proofread your writing. I beg. My nephews asked how it was possible on a flat Earth. I just read that. That flat Earth went away for most people long ago. My brother isn't happy and neither is his wife. They said it isn't my place to teach their kids ideas that are wrong and disagree with scripture. Oh, fuck off, man. I told him that his beliefs, his behaviour with regards to his kids' education was borderline abusive. It is abusive and it should be reported. And that I didn't understand why his kids grew up so ignorant. Why he wants his kids to grow up so ignorant that they cannot possibly get a secondary education. He said it was best if we didn't see each other until I got right with God. I'm a Christian. I think my brother is a whack job. I don't think I'm wrong for answering kids' questions, honestly. Alright, I have a lot of opinions about institutional religion. Personal faith, you do what you do. But I don't like institutional religion. For my own reasons. And this is a prime example of what happens when beliefs are put over reality. You know, a lot of this is just like conspiracy theory. You don't have to be religious to believe in conspiracy theories and stupid shit. But it seems that they have used those religious beliefs as a jumping off point into a realm of insanity. You know, I follow a lot of not people that do it, but like people that, you know, respond to flat earthers and stuff, because I find it interesting. But one of the things that I've like, he sells basically a book and like a webinar for hundreds and hundreds, and it's just garbage. Then you have the second kind of people that do believe it genuinely because they are very gullible and easily manipulated. And then finally you have the third type of people that like probably don't really believe it, but they like being in the special club. They enjoy being having a unique mindset, and sometimes if they manipulate and gaslight themselves. And I don't know what these people are like. They might be good-hearted people, but the issue is being a good person doesn't mean that you get to deflect abuse, and giving your kids this level of misinformation is abusive. Putting these conspiracy theories into kids' minds is just abusive and it's disgusting. And so you are not the arsehole for teaching your nieces and nephews, I can't remember if it was just nephews or not, your brother's kids, reality and science. They are facts, they are proven. You cannot, there's no disputing that. That's my rant over with that, jeez. So that's that one. Okay, here's one. This could be good. Am I the arsehole for coming down on my mother-in-law for this situation? So, I've been with my wife for a total of 9 years. I only married for a year and a half of that. Wow, 8 years dating. I mean, everyone takes their own time, but damn. First got a place together 8ish years ago. I'm 34, my wife is 31. Okay, never mind, that's fair enough. I take back what I said. My mother-in-law, for the first time we've been together, has had no respect for the fact that she's in the home of 2 adults and takes liberties with our things and is generally rude, and it's always been something that's got on my nerves. Oh, for the entire time we've been together, not for the first time, that she's been disrespectful. For instance, I came home from work one day to find our apartment at our first apartment when our mother was in town, to find my bread in the fridge, my pots and pans in the oven, and my furniture rearranged in the living room. All that would drive me nuts. I told my wife I didn't like that, and that they aren't her things to move, and if she needs to, needs to tell her not to do that. At this point, we'd only been together for a year, so I wasn't super comfortable with getting into head-on confrontations with her family. This is something that's happened in one form or another for the entire time we've been together. I've never once confronted her about the dozen of rude things she's done in our home, and I've always told my wife when I'm getting irritated enough that I'm about to say something and that she needs to before I do. She also doesn't like dogs, and I have a deaf and blind healer who, due to being deaf and blind, has mostly memorised routes around the home, and she insists he not be around her. And does things like leaving luggage on half our couch so we can't sit whatever spot she's decided that she owns while she's there. Don't come to the house then. 2 days ago, our mother is in our living room, having built a barricade around our coffee table and couch to make sure the dog doesn't go anywhere. She doesn't want him to go. Never asked, just started erecting defences. Riggs, the dog, jumps up next to me and starts wagging in her direction, so she holds a pillow up to his face and tells me to get him off the couch. I've told her she's sitting in his spot and that doesn't see or hear, admittedly already angry from things she's been doing during the trip. She responds with, "He can have it back when I'm gone," and I came down on her on Mother's Day. I know, but man, I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I get you, it's built up. I said that this is his home more than it's hers, and not to forget that ultimately this is my home. I told her that she makes no rules here, and I'm the one who decides where my dog can and can't go, and she needed to get all the way over the fact that she doesn't like dogs when she's coming to our home. Knowing that we have one, she responds with, it's just while I'm here. And I said, no, it doesn't work like that. You're not temporarily in charge of my home, my things, or my dog while visiting. There's more, but this is already getting long, and the dog was the main catalyst. My wife is furious and says I made this about my ego Signs of Strangers might straighten me out a bit. He's added an edit. Just wanted to genuinely thank you all for commenting. Things haven't been great lately with both of us losing our jobs, and there's been a lot of stress. I'm sure that contributed to the story existing in the first place, but it's good to know that I'm not just selfishly lashing out. I was honestly thinking that maybe I am just the arsehole posting this. Give some peace of mind. So, I mean, yeah, it's fairly obvious there that you're not the arsehole, and anyone that thinks you are is probably themselves the arsehole. That's just ridiculous. You're absolutely right. Though I would correct you on one thing, which is that it isn't your home, it is you and your wife's home. But I think it's just semantics in the story. And I don't think, that's an indication that you think it's all about you. I could be wrong, but that's not my impression. I think you've dealt with a lot of shit over a very long period of time. I think you have shown a great deal of respect, not just to your mother-in-law, but to your wife for not being the one to initiate it. And your wife has not been respectful of you. She knows you don't want to make that confrontation, and you've clearly told her again and again and again to tell her mother that, and she either has and she hasn't listened, in which case she's broken the agreement of being able to come over to that house, or your wife hasn't and she doesn't give a shit. I don't feel like every confrontation within a marriage should just be like, get a divorce. But I will be honest with you, if you are not being respected, and if you talk to them and she doesn't say anything, if she doesn't turn around and go, do you know what, I understand you have told me for years about this, and I'm gonna talk to my mother because you're alright. I'm not happy that you blew up on her, but I actually understand why you did it. Things have been shit for us, and like, it's a catalyst. Fuck what the mother-in-law thinks, it doesn't matter. It's about what your wife responds with. And if she doesn't have your back, she never will. So, there's only one recourse to that, and that is to leave if she just is not going to respond. Because, remember, you will be spending the rest of your life with that person, and if she doesn't have your back on this, something that is a pervading issue, then get out before you have kids. Don't put yourself in a position where you're locked into that person's life forever. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You will hate yourself if that happens. I know you're not listening, but that's what I would say. And this goes for anyone, I think. Extended family can have opinions. They may not like you, you may not like them, but ultimately the real important thing is the partner. And if there is something that the family are doing that is objectively wrong, and you stand up against that and they don't have your back, then they've chosen the blood family rather than the family they're marrying into. And it's not about picking and choosing, but what you're showing is that even when your blood family have done something wrong, you're going to have their back. No. That's wrong. So, yeah. Annoying situation there. You're not the arsehole, at least from what you described, you aren't. And it's understandable. I would be going nuts. Nuts. If people that didn't live in my home came in and started rearranging stuff, I'd go absolutely batshit insane. I think you're right, you've exercised a lot of patience. Oh, well, there we go, guys. Maltesers are done. I've had my fill. We've read a few stories. So, listening in. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider dropping a like. If you are not subscribed, consider pressing the subscribe button, and consider checking out some of the videos on the side of the screen. And I will see you in whatever video comes next.